Hello friends, and welcome to another video. As I alluded to in my last video, I made a bit of change to my speaker setup. So I've adjusted the crossover and the speaker setup is different. Look at this. So what I've done is took my prototype one and put this one in series with that one. So now it's a 32 ohm load, and I've increased the level of the compression driver just a little bit, not too much, and it's slightly louder this way. But what that has done, I think it's well, subjectively, first of all, the drums, they now pop, have that real bang, that definition now. And the other thing is vocals. So both female and male vocals, they're now far more present and yeah, far more defined, and things like a harpsichord now get a very defined sound that just comes out, whereas previously was a bit retracted and not as present. So this is a huge influence, and of course what has happened here is also some of the suck outs with sidewall reflections. If you can see it, it's a slightly sort of circle type of setup. Of course the bevel has increased enormously in some ways, and of course the diaphragm, the total amount of diaphragm has increased enormously. So it now now can push much more air. So it probably from something like 500 square centimeters to now 1,000 square centimeters, where a 15-inch would be about maybe 850 square centimeters in surface area. And you know what? This is the impression that I'm getting. This is there's no I've no sort of scientific underpinning for this at all. But the impression that I'm almost getting from this is that you need a minimum diaphragm size to portray instruments that have a certain size by themselves. That's what it feels like. So the human chest, a drum set, a bass, double bass, what else? Harpsichord changed, so much more present. Yeah, and just the detail level, it is very, so far more articulated, and things that were previously in the background now have gotten presence. So I'm very impressed with it, to the point that I'm even gonna sort of delay my the urgent search for maybe a better compression driver. Because you know, if you followed my other video, I was looking at radiant compression drivers to replace the Electro Voice one. But I'm now going to slow it down a bit, because this is very enjoyable. So I'm really happy with this setup and the way it sounds. It's quite magnificent, and because of some other changes in the crossover, also the timing, the phasing between these two now gels way more. So rhythmically it's much stronger, and I'm not sure what that is about. I haven't figured it out exactly, but by tweaking the attenuation and what I'm using, the value of the capacitor and the value of the resistor, just by playing around with different ones, I get different results in how coherent that timing feels in the music. So I'll report on that when I've got a bit more clarity on that, but for some reason it just works at the moment. So very happy with it. Now, you saw this at the start very briefly. This is the frequency response graph. So there's a pretty flat response for a passive crossover. Didn't put too much work in it, but basically we're pretty flat between 20 hertz and 15 kilohertz. I haven't shown this before, but I'll just show you the waterfall graph. So this is 30 dB spectrum waterfall graph. Most people only show you 25 dBs usually when they do it, so you can't see the stored energy. So you've got a bit of stored energy here still at, so this is after 270 milliseconds where it ends. So I've got a little bit here, sort of at 2.8 kilohertz, and then here at 32 hertz or so, 31 hertz, which is from the room. But otherwise, yeah, pretty neat. So that's it. So that's my report on my setup. I'm gonna live with it a little bit, and you can expect one or two probably sound samples that I'll post later of recordings from this setup, so you can compare it with earlier setups and see what you think of it. And so, but anyway, the basic lessons is maybe diaphragm total surface matters. Maybe also having a wide baffle and sort of making it an integral, almost an integral sort of part of the room could also help prevent reflections, or maybe turn it into a horn or so of any sort. But yeah, these have been very nice changes. Anyway, thank you for listening. Hope to catch you in the next video, and until then, have a great day, have a great week, and hope to catch you in the next video. I said bye bye.